In the beginning, hope for the future was a notion that was conceived as a result of Hope Logan's need, within the context of the tremendous legacy that her family had left behind. Hope was a young woman who was attempting to carve out her own identity at the time that it was established. Hope was continually struggling to cope with the weight of expectation and public scrutiny because she was the daughter of Brooke Logan, who is widely regarded as one of the most iconic and controversial individuals in the fashion industry. The conventional fashion lines that Forrester Creations had developed were not what she had in mind when she conceived of hope for the future. She had the goal of concentrating on fashion that was both environmentally friendly and ethical, with an emphasis on positivism, social consciousness, and personal empowerment. Throughout the course of the story, Hope's character was consistently portrayed as a young woman who was morally oriented and idealistic, and this fashion line became an extension of her principles. During one of the early scenes that take place in the boardroom at Forrester Creations, Hope makes an impassioned presentation to the family about her proposal. "We have a responsibility," Hope says as she stands in front of a room that is full with her family, as well as executives. The concept of fashion is no longer limited to merely beauty and luxury. Making a statement and bringing about change are the goals here. There is more to hope for the future than just providing individuals with clothing. It is about providing them with something to believe in. We have the ability to steer this sector in a different path. Her statements strike a chord with certain people, but not everyone agrees with them. For one, Ridge is suspicious, asking if Hope's vision can be successful in a ruthless profession that feeds on extravagance and luxury. Ridge is not alone in his skepticism. The warning that Ridge gives is, "Hope, this is fashion, not a charity." There are some of the most well-known names in the world that you are fighting against. Forrester is purchased by individuals not because they wish to rescue the environment, but rather because they want to feel powerful and beautiful. On the other hand, Hope continues to be unshaken. She is keen to demonstrate that there is room for compassion in the world of culture, and her line would be distinct from what is now available. The challenges of leaving a legacy are discussed in Chapter 2. In the first scene, Brooke Logan's shadow is seen. To live up to the reputation that her mother, Brooke Logan, has established for herself is one of the most fundamental hurdles that Hope must overcome in order to develop hope for the future. Despite the fact that Brooke is a woman whose personal life has been a persistent source of scandal, she is also a renowned figure in the fashion world. The struggles that Brooke has been going through in her life, including her turbulent relationship with Ridge Forrester and her many other romantic relationships, have frequently overshadowed Hope's efforts to establish her own identity. Hope has a heart-to-heart chat with her mother, during which she vents her feelings over being put in the position of being continually compared to her. Hope starts off by saying, "Mom, I love you," with a tone that is full with emotion. However, there are times when I have the impression that no matter what I do, I am no more than Brooke's daughter. Rather than merely being an extension of your legacy, I would like hope for the future to be something that can stand on its own, something that embodies who I am. Brooke, who is both proud of and compassionate toward her daughter, makes an effort to soothe Hope, but she is aware that the comparisons will never completely go. The words "I know it's hard, Hope" are spoken quietly by Brooke. However, you are more powerful than you believe. It is not necessary for you to demonstrate anything to anyone. Hope for the future is already generating a lot of buzz, and you are the responsible party for that. The fact that the fashion industry and their family are so intricately intertwined with Brooke's reputation is something that Hope is well aware of, and she is aware that it will not be simple for her to emerge from her mother's shadow. Controversies and obstacles in the second scene. Both inside her family and outside of it, Hope faces opposition on her endeavor to establish her line. This opposition is not without its challenges. As is the case with any family, Forrester Creations is a family-owned business, and as such, power battles within the family are not uncommon. One of the most important factors that contributes to the early development of hope for the future is the competition that exists between Hope and Steffi Forrester, who is her stepsister and a frequent adversary. Steffi, who already has her own profitable line at Forrester, initially takes a negative attitude about Hope's endeavor from the beginning. From Steffi's perspective, Hope for the future is just another instance in which Hope is attempting to invade her territory, both in terms of her career and personal matters. Their competition, which was already fueled by their shared affection for Liam Spencer, begins to spill over into the economic world. On the occasion of a stressful meeting in the boardroom, Steffi confronts Hope, asking her whether or not her line possesses the necessary qualities to be successful. Hope, do you really believe that people are going to buy into this fashion that is all about saving the world and feeling good? It is said with a sneer by Steffi. This industry is not about some kind of moral crusade. Rather, it is about bold and daring designs. The Hope, on the other hand, does not retreat. Despite the fact that Steffi considers her vision to be foolish, she is a firm believer in it. Hope's efforts to get the full support of the Forrester board are made more difficult by the ongoing struggle between the two women. This is especially true when Ridge appears to be more willing to endorse Steffi's line of reasoning than Hope's in this particular instance. It is only when Liam, as he frequently does, finds himself caught in the middle that the tension between Hope and Steffi becomes even more intense. Steffi considers this to be yet another instance of betrayal, despite the fact that Liam, who has always appreciated Hope's idealism and optimism, is a supporter of Hope for the future. While these competitions are taking place, the spectator is left wondering whether Hope will be able to triumph over the challenges that have been posed by her family and demonstrate that her vision is not only pertinent but also revolutionary. Sustainability and ethical fashion are discussed in the first scene of Chapter 3, which is titled Fashion with a Purpose. The impact of Hope for the future. The fact that Hope for the future places such a strong emphasis on ethical and environmentally responsible business methods is one of the primary characteristics that distinguishes it from the other lines offered by Forrester Creations. This emphasis on environmentally friendly materials and ethical labor methods becomes a crucial storyline as Hope strives to overcome the hurdles of adopting these values in a business that is frequently harsh and competitive. Hope has an emotional talk with her design team in which she expresses her commitment to these ideas, even when they come at a cost, whether it be financially or practically. Hope acknowledges, "I am aware that it is challenging," as she stands in front of a room that is crowded with executives, seamstresses, and designers. On the other hand, we must remain faithful to the mission. Stylishness and responsibility are not mutually exclusive. In order to achieve success, we may demonstrate to the world that it is not necessary to compromise your principles. Those members of the Forrester family who adhere to more conventional values, particularly those who place a higher value on profits than ideals, frequently find themselves in conflict with her commitment to sustainability. Hope's idealism is something that Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the family and the company, admires, although he frequently worries whether or not her line can be both financially sustainable and ethically sound. The words "Hope, I respect what you're trying to do" are spoken by Eric in the course of a private chat. However, when everything is said and done, this is a business transaction. It is imperative that we take precautions to ensure that we are not compromising on quality or profitability in the name of values. Despite the fact that Hope is aware of Eric's worries, she continues to maintain her conviction that Hope for the future is capable of achieving both financial success and becoming socially responsible. Scene 2. The reception from the public and the gains. Hope for the future soon obtains popularity in the fashion world, despite the internal conflicts and criticism that the company faces. The message that it conveys, which is one of empowerment and sustainability, strikes a chord with a new generation of customers who are becoming more concerned about the influence that their purchases have on the environment and society. It is at this point that the fashion press starts to take attention, with major newspapers underlining the singularity of Hope's vision. During a moment of victory, Hope is present at a fashion gala where her collection is recognized for its innovative and ethical principles of business methods. While Hope is standing on stage to accept the prize, she delivers a speech that is filled with emotion. There is a resounding round of applause from the audience, and Hope has the sensation of having her vision acknowledged for the very first time. Not only does this event mark a turning point for the line, but it also marks a turning moment for Hope individually, as she begins to emerge from the shadow of her mother and establish their own identity. Personal struggles that led to success is the topic of Chapter 4. First scene: the price paid for the job. Despite the fact that Hope for the Future is a commercially successful endeavor, it has a negative impact on Hope's personal life. Hope's mental health continues to deteriorate as a result of the ongoing tension between her and Steffi, as well as the strain she feels to live up to expected standards. The fissures in her marriage to Liam, which was already fragile due to the tangled history of the two of them, begin to appear. In spite of the fact that he is encouraging Hope to pursue her professional goals, Liam is experiencing a growing sense of marginalization as she immerses herself in her work. A heartfelt scenario takes place at home, as Liam confronts Hope about the growing gap between them. "I feel like I'm losing you, Hope," Liam says with a tone of melancholy in his voice after saying this. "You are spending so much time and energy on Hope for the future that there is no room for anything else, not even for us." It is difficult for Hope to achieve a balance between her love for Liam and her dedication to her career because she is divided between the two. Despite the fact that she is aware that she has been ignoring her marriage, she believes that Hope for the Future is her one and only opportunity to demonstrate her worth. Hope argues, "I'm doing this for us, for our future." And she is right, but I am aware that I have been estranged. You can count on me to improve, Liam. I solemnly swear. On the other hand, as the demands of her profession continue to increase, it becomes increasingly harder for her to strike that balance, and the strain that is already being placed on her relationship with Liam only increases. Scene 2. The contradictory aspects of success. As Hope for the Future continues to expand, the organization is confronted with unforeseen problems, which originate from both within the organization and from outside sources. Her label is being targeted by competing fashion houses, which are leading to the initiation of smear campaigns that call into question the validity of her ethical standards. As rumors circulate in the media, Hope finds herself in the position of having to defend not just her brand, but also her own personal reputation on top of that. In a particularly dramatic scenario, Hope faces a journalist who has written a stinging expose on her line. The writer accuses Hope for the Future of employing unethical labor methods in its factories located overseas. The words, "This is a lie," come out of Hope's mouth as her voice shakes with wrath. "We have put in a lot of effort to make sure that everything we do is honest and accountable to the highest standards. Why are you acting in this manner?" The journalist, who is icy and uncaring, simply shrugs his shoulders. He looks at her with a smug expression and adds, "Ms. Logan, people love to tear down those who stand on pedestals. The moment you began preaching about ethics in a field that was built on excess, you made yourself a target," the speaker said. Hope is becoming increasingly frustrated as she comes to the realization that no matter how hard she tries to remain loyal to her principles, there will always be other forces that are working against her. Redemption and reinvention is the topic of Chapter 5. First scene: Hope's return to life. Hope has been through a lot of difficulties, both in her personal life and in her work life, and now she is at a crucial crossroads. She is feeling defeated as a result of the smear efforts, the internal politics of the corporation, and the strain that has been placed on her marriage. On the other hand, in the manner of a traditional soap opera, this is the point at which Hope discovers her inner power and fights back. Hope comes up with a strategy to relaunch Hope for the Future with a daring new campaign, and she does it with the assistance of her closest allies, including her mother Brooke, her husband Liam. Despite the fact that their relationship is strained, and sometimes even ridged, a primary focus of the campaign is openness, with the intention of highlighting the work that are made behind the scenes to ensure that the line is both sustainable and ethical. An important event occurs when Hope addresses the rumors and defends her vision by holding a news conference. This is the climactic moment. In front of the assembled reporters, Hope makes the following declaration: "I will not allow lies and misinformation to destroy what we have built." It is more accurate to say that Hope for the Future is a movement than a fashion line, and we are more powerful than we have ever been. Not only does Hope for the Future survive the smear attacks, but it also thrives in the aftermath of those campaigns. The campaign is a huge success. Hope emerges more powerful, more self-assured, and prepared to continue to lead the charge inside the fashion industry for ethical fashion. The legacy of Hope for the Future is discussed in Scene 2. Over the course of the closing scenes, we witness Hope for the Future becoming firmly established as a permanent fixture within Forrester Creations. The vision that Hope had has been realized, and she has carved out her own legacy, which is distinct from the legacy that her mother left behind, while still honoring the Logan name. When Hope thinks back on her journey, she comes to the realization that Hope for the Future is about more than simply the garments or the clothes company. Both in the fashion industry and in her personal life, it is about the importance of family, morals, and work toward making the world a better place. A heartwarming concluding moment occurs when Hope sits down with her daughter Beth and explains to her the significance of the line's name. Hope whispers to her daughter, "It's all for you, Beth," as she holds her daughter close to her. "You are the reason I have hope for the future." Final thoughts. Throughout the course of The Bold and the Beautiful, the plot of Hope for the Future is more than just a storyline. It is a representation of Hope Logan's journey as she moves through the intricacies of her family life, her professional life, and her own personal identity. Hope has been able to develop something that matches her principles and values through the introduction of this fashion line, which has allowed her to establish herself in a world that is dominated by powerful personalities. There is no doubt that Hope for the Future will develop during the course of the show's run, just as Hope herself will continue to mature and take on new challenges. Now, however, there is one thing that is very clear. Hope for the Future is here to stay, not only in the world of fashion, but also in the hearts of viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful.